Hi guys, it's Rachel. Today I want to do a hair tutorial for you because, as you know, I make these videos for you and sort of what you guys want to watch, and I've been getting a lot of comments lately about the way that my hair looks and sort of asking me how I do my hair, and I've been wearing it this way, so I just wanted to show you guys how to do this hairstyle. It's sort of like a spiral curl that it kind of looks like a mermaid's hairstyle, and it is definitely kind of that hair. I think if I was ever going to dress up as a mermaid, I would do my hair this way, but it's just kind of like a spiral, loose spiral curls that are really quite simple to do, and I like doing these curls. It's just kind of different to sort of your normal everyday sort of curl, and I'm going to show you how you can achieve this look for yourself so you can sort of have mermaid hair too. My hair has dropped a little bit because when I finished filming the tutorial I had to take a break before I could come back and film this little intro for you. So this kind of shows you what it looks like when they drop. So I'm going to jump in the tutorial. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so we're going to start by giving our hair a really good brush just to get out any of the knots or tangles that we may have. Brush it back. We can part it how you sort of want to part it later, so it doesn't really matter sort of how it starts parted now. And then what we want to do, I generally section my hair into 3 different sections, so I'm going to take my hair from just above the ear and take my thumbs and separate the hair all the way to the back. Separate it out, and then I can twist it up in a clip. You could also use a hair tie if that's sort of easier for you, but I just find a clip sort of easier to get in and out. So once you're sort of looking kind of funny there, separate your hair sort of down the center, bringing the 2 parts forward, and you move it there. Like I said, give those bottom sections another little brush if necessary. And then you want to take a heat protectant because it's really important to protect your hair from the heat. My curling iron, I know, gets quite hot because I've burnt my hands, so I know it's quite painful. So I'm going to take Garnier Fructis Thermoactive Curl Control heat protectant, purely because this sort of has a little bit of a, I guess, kind of like a hairspray in it, and it helps hold the curl and protect your hair. It's almost doing 2 jobs in one. If you know that you struggle to keep curling your hair, getting something like this would definitely help. And then you can also use hairspray. I don't actually have that much trouble keeping curl in my hair, but I still kind of like this one just for that little bit of extra hold. So I'm just going to spray this all over these bottom sections. And then I'm going to brush it through. So once that's done, we're going to take our curling iron. I have a 1-inch one, but it doesn't really matter if we'll say 3/4 inches or 1 1/4 inch, that would be fine as well. And I'm going to start off with the front piece of hair. What you do is you hold the curling iron in the opposite hand, angled downwards. And what you want to do is place the curling iron on top and behind of the hair. So over the top of the piece and behind it. That way you'll definitely know to curl backwards, because your sort of first instinct is to automatically wrap the hair over the top of the curl. And I think that these curls definitely look best curling away from your face, but if you want to curl it towards your face, you'd obviously put it underneath and in front and then curl this way. But we're going to curl away from our face today. So on top and over, and then just slowly wrap the hair around. Don't worry about trying to keep the hair flat. Twist, twist, twist. Hold for like 10-15 seconds and then let it go. And there you have a perfect little spiral. Now I sometimes twist it around my finger just sort of while it's warm, just so it will sort of hold, and you can sort of grab it and hold it as well while it's cooling down. But the main thing is that you sort of don't have to worry about holding your hair flat when you do these curls. I know sometimes even with the wraparound you can do curls and you can kind of keep the hair flat. If you can see, I know it's hard because my hair is dark in the contrast, but that will give you sort of more of a normal curl. If you want the spiral curl, the main sort of, I guess, technique to this is to just let the hair sort of twist around itself as it's going around the curling iron. Like I said, just hold it for 10-15 seconds. Depending on how thick the piece is, will depend on how long you have to actually hold the curl there. So You can see sort of some steam coming up. That's just usually the heat protectant sort of just sort of drying out. Like I said, hold it, let go, and you've got that nice kind of mermaid curl. Now I generally do them slightly tighter because when I curl my hair, I often curl it at night and I'll literally sleep in it, and then the next morning it'll have dropped out a bit and I will just go ahead and recurl like the front parts and fix up any parts that are necessary in the morning because I don't have a lot of time in the morning. However, if you sort of want to wear it sort of straight away, you can take thicker pieces, so then it's sort of less curled and more of a wave. The other thing to do would be you can still curl it and do them quite tight, and basically they'll last for a second day. So when I do them curly and tight, I will then sort of after that first night I'll spray a little bit of dry shampoo in my hair because I certainly can't go one day without washing my hair because it's so oily. But spray a bit of dry shampoo in, then I'll just go to sleep, and in the morning I'll just again sort of touch up any curls. But you can definitely get these curls to last 2 days. If you've got like really like good hair, you can probably get them for 3 days if you can go sort of that long without washing your hair. The one thing that I would say is that it is very, very easy to burn your hand. I have done it multiple times. I am getting better at sort of working out where my hand is so I don't burn it, but I have suffered many burns, and a lot of these things will come with a glove, and when you're first starting out you may want to use the glove. I find them difficult to use, but it is good just sort of to see where your hand is sort of hitting, because you'll notice, oh wow, ow, that sort of, you can still feel the heat, and then that way when you do it without the glove you sort of know to be careful of it. The other thing I would say is to keep your hand moving along the hair as you twist it. So every time you twist, pull your hand sort of further along the hair. You may think, oh, I've got this quite a bit of hair before like your hand's going to hit, but if you keep your hand moving, you're a lot less likely to burn your hand. I'm just going to do a demonstration. This piece here is quite thick, but I just want to show you can still do thick pieces as well. So that's really, really thick, but we are going to twist it around, twist, 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 right to the end. It doesn't have to have the absolute end touching, because if it does then you'll burn your finger, but just as sort of as close as you can. Now I'm going to hold this one for a little bit longer because it is thick. Okay, that should be about enough, and then you can grab it if you want just while it's sort of cooling down a bit. Now you'll feel that is really, really hot, so be careful, don't burn your hands. And then just let it go. So I don't do my hair in any particular order. I kind of just grab pieces that I can see that aren't curled yet. I think that gives it sort of that almost sort of just messy wave, almost sort of more of a natural look, as opposed to trying to section off your hair in perfect even sections. You want to have some thicker pieces, some thinner pieces. I'll do some pieces and they might not work perfectly, so I'll sort of separate them out and go over them again. Like, that's totally fine. But so you can see, so that's sort of what you're left with. And I kind of, I will hairspray, especially if I know that I am going to sort of sleep in it overnight, or if I know that I really want it to last for a few days, I'll sort of hairspray through each section. If you sort of are worried that you think that your hair won't hold curl at all, you could spray sort of after each curl, but I tend to spray after each section. Now, you can either use sort of a really strong hairspray if you would like. This is Herbal Essence's Set Me Up hairspray, or you could use something that's more of like a flexible hairspray like this one. It's sort of up to you and how long you want the curls to last and what your hair type is like. I can definitely get away with this, but if I want them to last a couple of days, I will use something a little bit stronger. So I'm just going to give this a quick spray, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this section, and I'll show you what to do when you take down the next sections. Okay, I'm going to take the neck section down. So basically just let your hair out and then take it sort of from just above your temple. And again, we're going to section it off. Okay, I'm going to show you sort of what I do on this side of the hair this time. But again, we'll spray it with some heat protectant. Now, I wanted to sort of explain what I do. So obviously this side is easiest. I'm used to holding the curling iron in my right hand because I'm right-handed and I wrap. So that's easy to go over the top. However, for this side, because I am so used to having the curling iron in this hand, I automatically want to sort of keep it over this side. Now, you can do either way. When you sort of have it in the same hand, basically you just section the hair out. And again, this time you sort of put it, because you're on the opposite side, you put the curling iron behind the hair and then wrap around it. So you're still wrapping towards the back and away from your face. So that's one way to do it, and I'll hold this curl since we're here. And you've got your lovely little spiral curl. However, some people sort of get confused with that and find it easier to actually switch hands. So now, to make it sort of the same, you can switch hands. And what you want to do again is take it over your head, separate a section out, put it on top, so it's over the top of the hair and behind, and then wrap away from your face. Again, the curling iron is pointed downwards, and we're just spiraling it around and holding it there for sort of 10 to 15 seconds. Now the longer you hold it, the tighter the curl you will get. So I just want to show you since we're here. So you have a nice sort of little curl. Again, you can wrap it around your finger to sort of help the curl stay, or you can sort of scrunch it up in your hand just while it's cooling off. So in the end, you kind of got to figure out and play around with what's the easiest for you. I will say that when I do the absolute top layer, it is very important that you do it this way so that you switch hands. So when I'm doing this side, I'll hold it over the top of my head and wrap back. And when I do this side, I definitely hold it atop and wrap back. I'm just going to go and finish off doing this second layer. One thing I would say you can do is find little bits and pieces of your hair. It doesn't matter. If you sort of can see, I grab bits that I have already curled. I separate these sort of spirals. I sort of mess around with it because you want it to be, you don't want it to be sort of super structured in some ways. You want it to be messy and have different, not necessarily messy, but I guess, but like different size curls, different bits and pieces curling together, because in the end you separate it out. And as you can see, when you sort of, if you get too close to the end, you tend to have the hair sort of drop off. That's okay. Just sort of re-spiral it around the hair. It doesn't matter if you sort of curl each bit of hair a couple of times in bits and pieces. As long as you're curling it the same way, that's fine. If you sort of accidentally curl it the wrong way, simply just let the hair cool right down. You need it to be sort of cold again, and then curl it back the opposite way, and you'll be fine. You can totally fix any mistakes. The fun part about this sort of hairstyle is that you just, it's one of those ones that you can really just practice with and just give it a go, I would say. Doesn't matter if it's sort of messy or if it's piecey, or if you sort of do sections that are too big, because you can have sort of different thicknesses of the curls, and it just, I don't know, it's just like a really cool, fun hairstyle. And as you can see, it is super easy. There's no sort of worrying about trying to get the curl really even or anything like that. You're just sort of wrapping it around the hair. You don't have to worry about keeping the hair flat. Just wrap it around and you'll be good. And you could probably do this with a slightly thicker curling iron to get sort of more, I guess, looser, that's not a word, to get waves that sit more loosely. Wrap it around. If you find sort of any pieces at the ends where the ends sort of aren't super curled, you can always just curl from the end too. So you might just want to hold it halfway down, wrap it around just to give it that end bit a little bit more curl. Okay, we're going to finish off the last section, so let it down, and I would say now part it sort of how you want it to be parted. So you have a left hand side part or a right hand side part, or you part it in the middle. However you want is fine. I have my hair currently parted on this side, and it's up to you. Some people sort of like a dead straight part. I kind of like a slightly sort of messy part because I think it gives it more of like a natural look. So just sort of piece the hair. I part it and then kind of pull bits and pieces over the opposite side, just so you've got like a not super straight part, but just the part that you want. And once the top of your hair is separated in that way, grab your heat protectant for one last little spray over the rest of your hair. As you can see, like, I am trying to make the effort to protect my hair as much as possible, because it is quite a bit of heat that you're holding on your hair, and my hair is quite damaged because of the amount of sort of straightening and curling and all the other bits and pieces that us girls tend to do to our hair. But I don't know, I just really like curly hair, and using something like this really does protect it. I also love the Tresemme protectant, so this one is just the Heat Tamer Protective Spray. So it doesn't have to be a curl one of these is fine. So once you have got it separated, so like I said, we want to do the over the top technique for these top bits just to get a really nice finish over the top of our hair. And I tend to do some of these curls a little bit tighter because they are on top. So grab your hair, hold it sort of as close as to your head as you can without burning your scalp. And because I have done that multiple times, and just wrap the hair around, and I will hold these for a little bit longer than normal. And you can do sort of smaller sections, or you can do bigger sections and bits, and then sort of separate little pieces out and go over them again just to give them a slightly tighter curl. It's really up to you and how you want the finish to be. Like I said, thicker curls will give you more of a wave, or thicker pieces, sorry, will give you more of a wave, and thinner pieces will give you sort of more of a curl. Hopefully you guys can see me. Sorry, I'll move forward just so you can see exactly what the hair looks like wrapped around the curling iron. And I know I sort of have mentioned this before, but you can use a curling iron with a clamp. I find one without a lot easier, but you can do the same technique. Just hold the clamp open while you're wrapping the hair around, and then you can just sort of let it shut over the top, or just keep it open the whole time. Basically, when you're doing the last section, what you're really looking for is to find any of those straight pieces that are sort of hidden throughout your hair, and to give them a curl. But like I said, it's totally fine if you miss pieces. You can always go back and curl them later. For the back, just to give it a little bit of volume, I try and hold the curling iron flat, as you can see here. And it's flat behind the hair, and then just wrap the hair straight back over the top. Same technique as we've used sort of the whole time. I'm just sort of holding the curling iron slightly more perpendicular, I guess, to the top of your head. Hold and let go. So you can see that sort of gives you a little bit of volume, if you can. Sorry, the sun's probably blocking out, but it gives you a little bit of volume at the back of your head. Let it go. As you can also see, the bits that are smaller I tend to hold for less amount of time because they're thin. They don't require as much heat. Okay, so we're swapping hands, swapping sides. So again, I'm going to take the front piece, I'm going to section a little piece out, hold the curling iron behind the hair, and then wrap backwards. And let go. You have your lovely little curl. Okay, I'm just going to finish this off for the rest of the head. Just do one little last look for any bits and pieces that you may have missed in the curling process. That seems to be Okay, basically that is it. So as you can see, it's quite simple. It does take a little bit of time. This has taken a while, and that's because I have been talking and I'm going slower and I'm trying to look at my mirror and trying to look at my camera at the same time, and it's just not quite working as well. But I can generally do this in about 15 to 20 minutes. So it does take longer than sort of your normal, or at least when I curl my hair with a GHD, I can do that in sort of 7 or 8 minutes, no problem. So it will take longer, but it's definitely worth it for this sort of type of curl. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial, and I will talk to you guys very soon. If you have any other questions about how I've done my hair, let me know in the bottom bar below and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a really great weekend, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye!